Okay, I think Dad would have sat in the co-pilot seat. I'm in the B-17. Looks like crew's coming aboard.
Oh yeah. Bombs away!
There.
Right here.
Yeah, we had two of them, two guns.
Okay, so this is your position.
It's hot, yeah.
And what kind of a gun is this?
Pardon?
What kind of a gun is
It's a
this?
50 caliber machine gun.
Okay.
That's some. Is that your position?
We had two of these.
Was that your position?
Yeah, this is my position.
What's that called?
Bombardier had the best view. Of course, there's a lot of glass right there. They're hitting the front. Okay, cockpit. My dad would be on the right, the co-pilot. Pilot's on the left. And that little hole down there, that's where the bombardier would crawl up and be in the very front of the plane. That's where Jim Reese would be. Well, I guess we're leaving.
Everything's clear. I'll put the red down. Here we go, unlatch. Go the toes. Easy access.
Yeah.
Very good.
17 Globemaster 3. This is a 2005 model. It's got almost 7,000 hours, almost 6,000 landings. In FY 2013 adjusted dollars, this is almost it's almost $250 million a copy. So take a good look. If you figure there's 310 million men, women, and children in the United States, and 250 million, that comes out to about like 78 cents a man, woman, and child in America. So pick a nut, ribbon, or washer, you bought it. It's expensive, but this plane, I argue, is well worth it. Very versatile. All of us are multiple veterans in and out of Iraq and Afghanistan. I'd rather go to Maui personally. Unlike some of the airplanes that you guys started your careers in, we only need 3 people to operate this plane, 2 pilots and a loadmaster. This gentleman's sitting in the co-pilot seat, I'm sitting in the pilot seat. Why I'm sitting here is this way I can talk to everybody.
No flight engineer?
No flight engineer. Flight engineer's up here, the navigator's up here. We have 1 loadmaster, cargo specialist. So 3 people to operate this plane, 16-hour crew duty day, 5 people, 3 pilots and 2 loadmasters for a 24-hour crew duty day, and that's what we're using when we're going in and out of Iraq, or excuse me, not out of Iraq anymore, but Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a 24-hour day. So it's 8 hours over, 8 hours coming back, and whatever time it takes on the ground. If you notice, we have sticks, not a yoke. Sir, why don't you grab the stick with your left hand? Excellent, you can be a pilot, you know your left from your right. Now grab it with your right hand. Feels better, doesn't it? Okay, so the co-pilot's always going to fly with the right hand, the pilot's always going to fly with the left hand. 1 hand free for the throttles. Big number to remember on a C-17 is 4. 4 engines, 4 throttles. for hydraulic systems, for fuel systems, for electrical systems, for digital flight control computers, for inertial navigation units. One bathroom. That's a problem. Okay? We only need 3,500 foot by 90 foot wide gravel strip on night vision goggles to land at almost 500,000 pounds. Yes, sir.
You said you got one bed.
One bathroom.
We had no bed.
Well, you guys are tougher than I am. I say. We've got a P tube also, but
You should see what the cruise is.
oh yeah, I don't even want to know. That's quick and dirty. And what? Quick question, anyone?
What percentage of the time is the unit on active duty? I think you're flying missions all the time, right?
Well, we've had guys on active duty orders since October 17th, 2001, when we invaded Afghanistan, and we still have guys on active duty orders right this very moment. In addition, that's in addition to the 2 weeks of annual active duty tour that we have anyway. Full-time active duty. Every Friday we have one C-17 leaves March, goes to the East Coast onto Germany, has 2 crews. The plane is going nearly 20 hours a day, and the crews are alternating flying. You fly every other day.
You don't have a job.
I'm an American Airlines pilot of my life.
What percentage of the time is American?
Sir, let me put it to you this way. I schedule time off. I'm gone a lot. I spend a lot of time in airplanes, either traveling to airplanes, flying airplanes, or going to airplanes.
How many miles?
How many miles to the gallon on this thing?
Or how many gallons per mile?
You know what? We don't go in gallons, sir. We go in pounds. So this plane holds 245,000 pounds of fuel. With that amount of fuel, we can fly from LA to London on fuel. So, whatever we burn about 16,000 pounds per hour up at cruise, and that's about 2,500 gallons of jet fuel an hour up at cruise. Yeah.
Major Shelley Funk here on the KC-135. We've got a 1964 aircraft. I've been at March for 15 years, and my co-pilot.
I'm sitting in my dad's old seat, only it was a B-17. This is a KC-135. Tim Thornton. And in 64, let's see, I was Air Force, and I was stationed here on the 452nd also, but later in the reserves. My dad got out in 1945 after the war was over. And that's good. Hey, thank you very much for giving me the stop. That's good.
Squadron in particular was formed in 1944. Deopham Green is. How many 729s guys have you had here today? Anybody? Here. Oh, the guys. Former 729. How about 730?
I'll let the patch.
Yeah. Okay, former 730s. We have some other 730s here too. The 730 is in this wing still. but it's actually out in Oklahoma. So it does the training for the KC-135 C-17 training squad. So, about us. We have 9 aircraft, 9 C-17s assigned to our wing and to the squadron. This is the largest C-17 squadron in Air Force Reserve Command. We have 150 personnel, and if you compare us to a normal C-17 Associate Reserve Squadron, we're 50% larger than one of those. We fly approximately 8,000 hours. Actually, we'll fly over 8,000 hours this year. That blows away any other C-17 unit out there. Most C-17 units out there are doing 2,000, 2,500 hours. We do that in combat hours this year. We'll fly over 2,500 combat hours, flying in and out of Afghanistan. That's what the squadron's doing day to day, fighting the current war. Now, those skies over Afghanistan are nothing like the skies over, say, Frankfurt or Berlin, but it's still combat flying time. Real quick, our mission, our bread and butter mission is AirVac. That's our business. We stage out of Germany on a March Strategic Air Theater deployment. We'll send crews out for 90 days. That's going to change it pretty quick. And they'll just run cargo missions down to Afghanistan. We reconfigure the airplane into a hospital. We pick up the wounded warriors from Afghanistan. We bring them back to Germany. They get stabilized in Germany. The end of our week, when we're changing out the crews, they'll pick up those wounded warriors. We'll bring them back to the U.S. Once they're in the U.S. and our crews come home, and we change out a crew. We change out 2 crews every week. Once they're here, we have another mission, which goes out. It's an intercontinental movement of patients. And we'll go out to Washington, D.C. We'll pick up patients from there. We'll bring them back over to the West Coast. These are our wounded warriors. So we have that total transport from the war zone to home, really. So we cover that whole sphere that goes on. Other missions we fly is all over the world. We go down to South America. We have missions to Australia. We have missions out in the Pacific. And we're in the thick of it all. So the 729th is, and the 452nd is up front in a lot of stuff. The other side of the 452nd is the Air Refueling Squadron. I'll talk briefly about them. I'm kind of partial to our airlift side, so I don't want to slight them. They're, again, involved in the war as well. They deploy out to the Gulf. They deploy to Turkey. They're deployed to the Caribbean, fighting the war on drugs. They're in the forefront as well. So I did my part and mentioned them. So that's now. So let's go back. Let's go back 67 years ago. We've added about 5 months to that, almost to the day. What I'd like to do is call a couple of people up here, if we could. All right, can we get John Harrison?
There'll be representatives for John.
Okay.
Or for it. Excuse me. For
Come on up. Start right there. Walter Hendricks, are you up? George Keating, you're up. George, you were a crew chief, weren't you?
Yes.
Never lost a B-17, right?
No.
Never had to return back.
I never had a deployment aboard a mission.
There you go. Never had to. If you notice, his lapel is a brown star. John Couric, did I pronounce that correctly?
his daughter is here to accept that award, Papa
That's fine,
Cooper.
if you're around. Edward Nolan, you're up. Ed? Yep. I know I see that. There you are. Hey, Ed, come on up.
Come on up.
Come on up.
Give him hell, Ed. Good boy. I'll get you up there.
Go ahead with him, that's fine, please.
How about Colonel William Roche? And Edward Smith, where are you? There you go. Come on up. All right. If you would, please, I understand some people might have some disabilities. You don't have to, but for everybody else, please guys.
Attention orders. As authorized by Executive Order 9396, superseding Executive Order 9075, 1942, citation of the following unit in General Orders indicated is confirmed under the provisions of Section 4 in the name of the President of the United States as public evidence of the deserved honor and distinction. The 452nd Bombardment Group is cited for outstanding performance of duty and action against the enemy by accurately bombing the tactically important airfield of Kaltenkirchen, Germany on 7 April 1945. A successful attack on this installation would ground a sizable force of the enemy's jet-propelled fighters and reduce the effectiveness of his aerial efforts to harass Allied ground forces at a crucial time. Although under considerable pressure after having serviced 23 combat missions during the preceding 30-day period, the ground crews worked diligently and enthusiastically all night to ensure mechanical perfection of their aircraft and the success of this tactically important mission. On the morning of the attack, 38 B-17 type aircraft carrying 95 1.5 tons of general purpose bombs took off for this mission, involving a round trip of 1,100 miles and of approximately 7 3/4 hours duration. En route to the target, harassing the anti-aircraft fire was encountered at Lauenburg, Germany. At 12:42 hours in the Steinhuder Leak area, the group was subjected to sharp enemy fighter attacks. Approximately 40 to 50 mixed ME-109s and ME-262s, taking full advantage of cloud cover, contrails, and sun position, initiated a series of continuous, aggressive, and fanatical attacks upon the bombers. Desperation on the part of the enemy was evidenced by the closeness and utter abandon with which they pressured their attacks through a veritable wall of steel poured forth from the bomber formations. Enemy tactics were thrown to the wind, and attacks were made from all clock positions. 2 B-17s were rammed by FW-190s. This all-out effort to annihilate the group lasted 40 minutes and continued even while the group was on the bombing run. 3 fortresses were lost and 13 suffered battle damage before the group reached the target. A 4th B-17 went down after the target as a result of damage inflicted during the attack. During the fierce aerial battle, the gallant crews maintained perfect formation under superior leadership and valiantly repulsed the aggressors, inflicting severe losses. The gunners of the group accounted for 13 enemy aircraft destroyed, 2 probably destroyed, and 6 damaged. Without once wavering from its primary duty to destroy an enemy objective, the group made a highly successful bombing run over a 5/10 undercast. 35 aircraft unleashed 88 tons of bombs on the assigned target with devastating results. The officers and the enlisted men of the 452nd Bombardment Group displayed extraordinary heroism, vigorous determination, and unwavering devotion to duty, and beyond that of all other units participating in the same operation. Their noteworthy accomplishments constitute an invaluable contribution to the war effort of the United States and reflect the highest credit on themselves and the Army Air Forces. By order of the Secretary of War, Edward F. Witzel, Major General.
So what we have here is we have the certificate, which you'll display, and we have a citation. Well, we have a citation there. We're authorized to wear presidential citations. Also, the memento, we have a squadron patch, we have a wing and a shoot patch. Because they all want tattoos, we have tattoos, squadron patch. Squadron.